Hi, this is Harvey Austin, and I just wanted to give you a welcoming call. Looking forward to seeing you around noontime. Please give me a call just as you drive in the front gate, and I'll come down and meet you. Bye-bye. There's only two or three elevators in the whole building.
Okay.
You each go up one floor. Here's button one. Hi, my name is Harvey Austin, and it says right here that there's a lot of agreement to that. So anyway, I founded the Austin-Weston Center for Cosmetic Surgery in 1978. I was born in 1935, born in Massachusetts. I've lived in 8 states. I went to Albany Medical College, graduated there in 1961, having graduated from University of Massachusetts as an undergrad. And I'm now almost 90 years old. I tend to lie about it. I'll be 90 on December 6th. So, do you want to introduce yourself?
No, I do not. You are the star of the show. They don't want to know about me.
Oh.
I'm the girl behind the camera. That's all they need to
There's
know.
a girl behind the camera, and there's one girl sitting on the couch smoking a cigarette. So I've sort of always been an entrepreneur. There's a picture of me up there with an ice cream truck. I used to work that ice cream truck about 18 hours a day every summer, and that got me all the way through the University of Massachusetts with almost no bills to pay at the end. It was pretty cool. Popsicles were nickel, by the way. Ice cream cones in my hometown were 5 cents at one store and 7 cents at the other. I paid $4.80 the other day. Anyway, so it's hard starting up a practice when nobody knows you. So I became what's known as the bed sore king of Pittsburgh. So I wound up doing a lot of work at St. Francis Hospital. I was on the staff of Allegheny General Hospital, West Penn, Suburban General, and Passavant hospitals. But my marriage was not doing well. And my wife and I divorced, and I found myself living alone, and there was something a lot more wrong. One day, one night, after reading all the ads in the back of a woman's magazine, it was Cosmopolitan. There was an article in there about EST, this training that people could do and it transformed their lives. And I said, that's for me. I called the Washington D.C. office and signed up for it. And it turned out to be the most important thing that had ever happened to me in life. All the anxiety and all the fear that I had and all the sense of I'm just not good enough, no matter how successful I was out in the world, it was wrong. So I decided to start my life all over again. I think at the age of 43, I was no longer in practice, lived in a camper pickup truck, and I was worth minus $13,000 and no job. Oh dear, well, what do I really, really want to do? I now have to run back 20 years before that to a conversation my father had that turned my life around. I was about 20 years old in my junior year in college, and I had to declare a major. And I said, Pop, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I want to do. And he looked at me and says, that's easy. I said, what? How can it be easy, you know? And he says, look, take a look at what it is that you love doing You know, that stuff that when you don't have anything else you have to do, you fall back to doing. What is that stuff? I said, all right, I'll play. But I thought, this is crazy. I says, okay, I love going down to the basement and tying little fishing flies and building model airplanes, you know, this kind of stuff. And I love reading. I was known as a boy with a head in the book. And I said, oh, let's see, I love sketching. And I said, and I love thinking about women. I was very bold. I was 20 years old and still thinking, that's all. And he says, terrific. I says, what's so terrific? He says, you know, all you need to do is find a way to make a living at doing one of those things that you love doing, and life will be very easy, and with a little effort, you'll be way ahead of the pack. And I went, oh, Pop, that's brilliant. I hadn't expected that. And then one day, in the middle of my practice at Cosmetic Surgery, I suddenly realized cosmetic surgery is the equivalent of lots of little fine stuff. I drew all over my patients' faces. I read everything there was to read about cosmetic surgery, and my practice was 95% women. And it's like, oh my God, my father and I had created a future for me, unbeknownst to him, that pulled me in. And I went, wow. And I had no clue, but all of a sudden I knew I was in the right place. This is why I was here on Earth. So now the question is, what are you going to do? You're broke. Well, fortunately, I met my second wife around that time, and she just happened to have $13,000. So it was a good fit for that and many reasons. So I just said, I'm going to go to the city of my choice, which was Washington, D.C. I'm going to open a practice of nothing but cosmetic surgery, except that nobody had ever done that before. The way you got into cosmetic surgery was after you did years and years, maybe 20 years of reconstructive surgery, and then the people kind of started coming to you. And I said, I'm not going to do that way. And so I said, I'm doing nothing but cosmetic surgery, you all come. One of the other plastic surgeons took me aside, sat me down and said, you're going to starve to death. And I says, no, I'm not. I already started a practice myself in Pittsburgh. I can do this. And I did it. Let me tell you the marketing strategy. I had a little black bag like that, and I made sure it says Harvey W. Austin, MD, on the outside. And I would go to the hospital, whether I had no patients there or not, and put it underneath my arm and ride up and down the elevator, making sure everybody saw that. Praying that somebody would ask me a question, or even if I saw them looking at that, say, hi there, my name is Harvey Austin. I have a practice of plastic surgery. Y'all come, no charge for consultation. You know, that was my way of saying hello. So I was pretty much shameless about it, and the practice became probably the largest non-university practice of cosmetic surgery in the country. George Weston became my partner within 8 years of our practice. And by the way, that man is an absolute hero. I was looking for a partner, and I got all kinds of applications. And he called me up and he said, you know, you answered the question I was asking a little different than anybody else. And he says, you were the only one who said this. It's wide open. There's always room for excellence. Come on up, let's talk. I talked, I really liked this guy, and he became a hero later on. I liked him, and we became good friends and are still good friends. I think cosmetic surgery is, in a sense, surgical psychiatry. Because it's something I've really realized since I retired from practice, that we treated people who were suffering. What are they suffering? Not from being abnormal, but for being abnormal from the culture's point of view. You know, ears that stick out like that, you can hear perfectly fine, but putting them back and the kid isn't called, oh, Mickey Mouse or little cab with the doors open. So I like this idea of that cosmetic surgery is designed to resolve suffering. In the ultimate world that I want us to have, cosmetic surgery wouldn't even exist. Could everybody be okay the way they were? I would never go up the mountain with a patient that I couldn't approve of going up that mountain. If it wasn't going to make a big difference in their life, I didn't want to do it. No, thank you. You go see somebody else, you know. When you're young, you're alive and excited and enthusiastic. As you grow older, you get reasonable, you develop rules, you know what's right, what's wrong, or at least what the culture tells you. You live in a culture where after the age of 35, they slaughter your ass. That's nasty. And we got a nasty culture, and cosmetic surgery is one way of handling the nastiness, and it beats 30 years of psychotherapy. You know?